Hi everyone, we are all doggies and all here to talk to you today about one of my favorite things. Nope, I didn't actually mean you should get in the video. No, okay. We're here today to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is books. I have loved reading ever since I was a kid, and when I started this YouTube channel, actually even when I started my blog, Becca's Music Room, I've been trying to incorporate books wherever I can. And so we have kind of adjusted and changed my book videos as time has gone on, and what we're gonna do now is just like the best business books. So today we're talking about the best business books, and then we will have a best business books part 2 with other books, and we might have some like categorized. We might do like best business time management books because I have a lot of those too, and stuff like that. But for today we're just gonna go like an overview of some of my some of my favorite books. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I have here that I want to talk about, and make sure you stay to the end because some of the best ones are at the end. They're so good. They're so good. So without further ado, let's hop right on in. All right, number 1, these are not in any particular order, by the way. Number 1 is going to be, oh, which one should I pick? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we'll start with this one. Number 1 is gonna be the 12-week year. If you need help with goals, time management, productivity, that sort of stuff, I would highly recommend the 12-week year. They also have a field guide that's like a workbook kind of thing. I haven't bought one yet, but I'm thinking about it. I'm always like, oh, but should I? I don't know. So I'm considering it. I haven't bought it yet, but I will link both this one and the field guide down below where you can like write in. It's like a workbook, but it's basically the idea of getting everything that a normal person gets done in a year done in 12 weeks. And this is something that I see a lot, that people at the end of the year will like make a huge push and maybe do like really well in their business at the very end of the year. And honestly, it makes me kind of sad because I'm like, if you'd had that much focus all year long, like think of where you could be. So this is kind of the way to get around that. And so they break up the year. You don't have to do quarters, just any 12 weeks that are, you know, consecutive, and talk about how to break down your goals and make a like really good, just make a strategy to help you get through everything. And so they say 12 weeks because it's long enough to get a good chunk of stuff done, but not so long that you get lazy and that you're like, oh, I have plenty of time to do this. You still gotta like be on your ish in order to get things done. So highly recommend this one. It's also a really quick read, which you always like in time management books. So definitely pick that one up. All right, next one is somewhat of a time management book, and that is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I picked this up because I was so curious for so long, and so finally I picked it up, and it was so different than I expected. I kind of expected like very cookie cutter advice and, you know, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. But instead what it is, it's a very like step-by-step guide of how to really optimize your business, to create and optimize your business in order to work 4 hours a week if you wanted to. So he really only works like 4 hours a week, which personally I think is slightly crazy. But if that's not your goal, like there's still a lot of really good and really valuable stuff in here, and like super practical, tactical advice. It is a little bit longer, but it's really easy to read. And what I love is he also talks about using the system in your 9 to 5 if you teach, you know, if you work 9 to 5. Teachers obviously have a little bit of a different thing because like we have to stay with our kids for certain amounts of time, but we only get like this much time for planning. So if you can apply these principles to the stuff that, you know, doesn't directly involve the actual teaching portion, but all the other things, it can really help you to manage your time better. All right, number 3 is gonna be this one. This is Superfans by Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn is the founder of Smart Passive Income. He's a blog and a podcast, kind of his main thing, and a YouTube channel. I love his YouTube channel. And he has he has I think 3 books, I wanna say, and like courses and like the whole 9 yards. But this book is specifically talking about how to actually turn like people into people who care about your business. And so the whole premise is if you can get a couple of people, like, you know, 150 150 people to really care about your brand and, you know, be super fans, then you're going to be able to be successful. You don't need to have, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You just need a core set of people who are like really in it and excited. So it's how to turn your followers into subscribers, into customers, into super fans who follow you, who, you know, watch every story and they watch every video and they buy every product and all of that kind of stuff. What I love about this book is it is super tactical. So it's like, here are things you can do in order to take someone from kind of the outside, bring them in closer, and it's just really, really practical, tactical, really good stuff. I cannot figure out like how I should sit right now. Anyway, next up is gonna be Zig Ziglar's The Secrets of Closing the Sale. This is one I picked up off my husband's bookshelf. He has lots and lots of business books upstairs as well. Most of these are actually fiction, and fun fact, these are all my business books. And these that are now, that I pulled off the shelf, last year I didn't have any. I bought them all in the last like year. It's been ridiculous. But anyway, I got this one off my husband's shelf, and honestly, I thought it was gonna be really, really boring, but it wasn't. It is very practical. Zig Ziglar was a like China salesman, or like in like pots and pans and like stuff like that. And he talks about like how he and other people have just been really able to close that sale. And everything is in like these really short little sections, lots and lots of stories, which makes it easy to read, even though it is quite long. And it is so practical, so tactical, and so helpful. Even if you're like, but Becca, I don't have anything that's anything like selling, you know, China sales. You're correct. However, all selling is kind of the same principles, and so there's a lot of really helpful things in this book. I picked it up and I just read like a couple of pages every day during my lunch, and that was a really good way to just kind of like break it up into chunks because it is a bit longer. But I would highly recommend if you have not read this one already. It's been around for a while, but it is like great. All right, the next one is Profit First. If you are starting a business, if you have a business, if you've had a business for 10 years or for 5 years or for 5 minutes, you need this book. This book is Profit First, and it is all about managing your money as a business, but I would also say that it 100% applies to managing your money personally as well, and it is so good. So good. And if you're like, but Becca, I haven't made any money yet, you still need to read it. If you haven't made any money yet, it's the perfect time to read it because you don't already have habits in place that you need to break in order to do it right. But they really break down like how to manage your money and how to do things in a very simplistic way, and it is so helpful. I had kind of arrived at a similar conclusion before I read this book, and I ended up picking this up, reading it. It was so good. I want to read it again, and I just finished it like a month ago. But I took what my system and kind of adjusted it with some of the principles I found in this book, and it has changed my life. It makes my life so much easier. Specifically, he talks about breaking up your income into different portions, which is the part that I was already doing. If you've seen my video about managing money, it's a little bit different, so if you want a new video, let me know down below. But I was already doing like this percentage is going to taxes, and this percentage goes back into the business, and this percentage is my paycheck, and all of that. But through this book, I kind of adjusted the percentages a little bit, and then also he suggested that you put them in separate accounts so that it's not as confusing, and you can just be like, there's all my tax money. I can see the number right there. That's how much money I have for taxes. And if it's more than that, then we have a problem. And it has helped so much. So I have changed my stuff a little bit. If you want to know more about like managing money, let me know down below because I nerd out about it. But highly recommend for any stage of business, pick it up, do it. And if your finances are stressing you out, get it. And if you want more money books, I have been reading all of the money books, so let me know down below and I will hook you up. All right, the next one is a very different change of pace, and that is Creativity Inc. This one is by Ed Catmull, who was the president of Pixar Animation and then Disney Animation when Disney purchased Pixar. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Becca. I have an online store and I have this YouTube channel where I help you build your online store, and we talk about email marketing and products and all the stuff that goes into that. But I also love Disney, as you might see from my Mickey Mouse balloon headband here. So I have quite a few Disney books actually, and I have more that are in my to be read pile, but this one was specifically cool because it was, you know, by the president of Pixar Animation and then Disney Animation later on, but it's really talking about business in that creative space. So it talks a lot about Pixar obviously, but it talks more about like principles of a good business that is creative. And I do feel like creative businesses, I guess all businesses are kind of creative, but when your business is based off of creativity, creating things, creating content, that kind of stuff, it's a little bit different than if you're, you know, just, I don't know, selling books that you didn't write. So it's just it's a little bit different, but it talks about a lot of really specific things that you can do in your business in order to make it better. And also you learn a lot about Pixar's history along the way. So highly recommend. I have also read To Pixar and Beyond. This one is by Lawrence Levy, and it is more about the businessy side of Pixar. This is more of the creative and the leading a creative team and creating creative things and all that kind of stuff. This one is more like how it became a business and stopped being broke and all of that good stuff. So this one's also good, but this is better as like a business book. This is better as more like a, oh, that's kind of cool, that's interesting. But this is good for like, I need business principles and also want to have fun and learn about Pixar, because who doesn't love Finding Nemo and The Incredibles and Toy Story and all of that good stuff. All right, we're down to the last two. This one is High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. I feel like that should not be a shock that it is on here. This book I read last year. It's also one I picked up off my husband's bookshelf, and it is so good. I also thought it was gonna be stupid and cookie cutter, but it's not. It's very research-based, but it goes through, I think it's 6 key habits that you should have in order to be highly productive and just really like, you know, being at that next level of productivity, not just in like being busy, but just being, you know, overall successful, working hard, learning how to balance that, how to get to the next level, and all of that kind of stuff. This book is also the book that we are reading in our TPT Seller book club. So if you want to join our book club and you're watching this in real time, it just started this week. So you can join us if you want and just pick up wherever we are. I'll leave the link down below. And if you're watching this after June 20 to 21, then it'll probably be too late. But maybe we'll do it again next year. All right, and my last one is one I literally just finished reading today, and it is so good. It is called Great by Choice. Focus. Focus. That's cool stuff. Great by Choice, and it is by Mr. Collins. What's your first name? Jim Collins. I mistakenly said Phil Collins the other day, and that is not the right person. Anyway, so Great by Choice by Jim Collins. This book, I think I actually ordered the wrong one. I have heard the book Good to Great is a really good one, and so I think that was the one I meant to get, but I accidentally got this one. But it is so good. So good. It is my new favorite. Like, when people message me and they're like, Becca, what book should I read? I'm gonna be like, this one right here. Great by Choice. This book is so good. It talks about different companies through 15-year spans, and it compares a company that doesn't do great to a company that does really, really great. And they call them 10Xers. So companies that do 10 times what the kind of industry average is and are just like killing it. And it goes through a couple of key points of what they do versus the companies that aren't 10Xers. They're just kind of average or fail sometimes, and it kind of compares them and shows like what the differences are. And it is so good. It is super specific. It has tons of real life examples and interesting things that it's talking about, and it is it's just so good. It's so good. And it's really specific things that you can apply to your business. So it looks like I think there's 5. Because I think number 1 is not it's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, so there's like 5 key things that they found that really differentiated the higher performing company from the lower performing company across every board. So they are talking about like Southwest Airlines, and they're also talking about Progressive Insurance and like Microsoft and like very different companies. But in each one, there's 2 parallels. So there's talking about like Southwest Airlines and I think it was Pacific. They kept saying PSA, Pacific South Airlines. I don't know. I've never heard of it because they failed before I think I was old enough to remember anything. But so they're like kind of talking about the differences between those 2, and they talk about Progressive Insurance and another insurance I had never heard of, obviously because they're doing better. And it is so good. I think I'm gonna do a video talking all about this book, actually, like not talking about it, but like based off of it, because there's so many things that I want to tell you. And also a lot of the end is like stuff about their research that you don't actually have to read. So it's only like 180 pages. It's like this, that's all I gotta read. So super quick, so good. If you don't buy any of the other ones, get this one. I will link all of these books down below in the description. They are all Amazon affiliate links. That means if you click on the link and then you purchase, you pay the same, but I get a teeny tiny commission. You obviously don't have to click on those. You can go and find them in your own browser, but just as a heads up, that is down there for your convenience. And I would love to know what your favorite business books are, because I know there are some that you're going to be like, you didn't say this one, you didn't say this one, this one's my favorite, that I didn't say either because I haven't read them or because I liked these better. So let me know down below your favorite business books and what you would like to see more of. Do you want to see more specific like money books, or like time management books, or like marketing books, or like that kind of stuff, or what do you want to see? So let me know down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.